Prepare for the coming of Gozer, the Gozerian. Choose the form of the Destructor. Alright. We're live. We're also periscoping. John's in the bathroom right now. You can check out John's Periscope at, if you don't want to do the Facebook Live thing. It is John Zaluga's Periscope. That's John SZELUGA Zaluga. But if you're going to hang out with us here on Facebook, I'm going to open this up on my MacBook. Yo, hey buddy. So we can talk to you guys if you want to talk.
Am I good over there? Yeah, I think I am. We got people watching. Nice. Hello. All right.
It looks so much lighter in the live stream than it is in here.
Yeah.
Very strange. Very, very strange. Thank you. Vicky James likes my onesie. Thanks. In Forte,
Check,
called
check,
it your
check.
pierogi scope.
1, 2. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Peggy Malaborski wants to know where's your costume, John?
I forgot you were doing that. But I also, I don't know. I mean, I don't have one. I'm not getting dressed up this year.
You're dressed up like a nerd.
I'm a nerd. That's how I always dress.
I'm definitely not. I'm doing pretty good. All right, so how are my levels? Good.
Keep talking.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hey there, John Zaluga.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So, I don't know, did you explain what's happening yet?
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so we're not even starting the podcast at the moment. This is just the, I guess this winds up being bonus.
Yeah, it ends up being bonus. I should actually record. That helps. Oh, actually, keep talking. I gotta set something up, but...
Yeah. Oh, Kyle Zaluga wanted to know if anybody called in and voted for the name of the game.
I saw one tweet.
Oh,
That's
yeah?
it.
Really? Just
yeah.
Come
A lot
on,
of people.
guys.
A lot of people listened to that episode and gave feedback and stuff, but they didn't vote. Maybe we have to create a poll. That's probably the way to do it.
Yeah.
Is actually put an official poll up, because it's you know what, even if I wish people did it, but also like if a lot of people just commented, it'd probably be a real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
To do it that way. So yeah, let's think about setting that up.
All right, we'll set up a poll.
I might have to narrow it down. He gave us a lot. But...
Yeah. If you guys have some suggestions, you could write into us here right now. If you don't know, but you should know, we have a game that was developed by Cousin Kyle that you describe a sexual act to us, and we get to name it. So,
yeah.
Anything. You come up with anything.
Use your imagination.
We will figure out a name. We will use our imagination to figure out a name. So it's
But yeah, we need a name.
we need a jingle, like name that game.
You want a jingle for the
contest.
For the contest?
Yeah.
Not for the
name that game.
Alright, we can do that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say a jingle for the game.
And then a jingle for the game, and then a jingle for the title.
That's a lot of work. We're not going to do it.
And then a Kyle Zaluga jingle.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a Cousin Kyle stinger.
Yeah.
Like, Cousin Kyle.
Cousin Kyle.
Yeah, I'm down for
Getting
that.
fuzzy with the cuzzy. Get that?
No, I don't like it.
No, that's only my family. I have a fuzzy family.
Oh, I grew up next to a junkie named Cuzzy. That's why that's weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking because of my.
Yeah.
You go to Christmas at my house. It's like Life Day on the planet Kashyyyk. There's just a lot of growling and hairy people running around. A lot of Italians.
That's true. It's an Ewok celebration.
Mamma mia! It's disgusting. I'm drinking a Guinness right now. I'm gonna go grab beers. Do you want? I got a couple of Guinnesses. You know, Brienne made like a Guinness stew. That was fucking out of this world. But so I have a couple of cans left.
I make one too. That's it's chunks of beef and there's bacon and Guinness and potatoes and carrots and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then the top, so it's like in a big casserole dish, and on the top it's buttermilk biscuits that act as like a crust.
Oh, I think you told me.
And you like
this.
stack them.
Jesus. Fuck.
Oh my god, that's like one of the. It's a lot of work. There's a lot. There's other stuff that goes into it.
So worth it though.
And it was at the back of somebody gave me a Guinness book. It's like the history of Guinness and how they brew it.
Is it their world records?
Their world record. No, it's not the world record.
It's not like, is it the same, the beer company and the world record company?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
So this was in the Guinness book?
Yeah, so it was all like old Guinness ads and artwork and stuff, and then at the back there's recipes, so it's from that.
That's interesting because
Insanely
the
good.
cans of Guinness I have they have like these weird images. It'll be like a Guinness on a turtle, and it's like
Oh yeah, and like the toucan, they're like those are like the old school.
yeah, that's what
cans.
they like. Oh, the collectible cans for the throwbacks to the 30s and the 50s.
Yeah.
Like, who collects Guinness cans?
I mean, it's like you and I whatever I had I threw out, but we would collect like cereal boxes.
Yeah. Oh, I
like old cereal and the
I
Star
definitely
Wars cereal
have
boxes.
I definitely have an episode 2 cereal box with like Django Fett on it, and I definitely have one somewhere. Definitely, there's like a colony of ants living in it.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say just a whole mouse family.
Just like a little clone
Little
trooper mice still dressed
Yeah.
like Django Fett. I'm just a man making his way in the galaxy.
My dad, I got in trouble. My dad had a box of Wheaties that had expired like 4 years before. I was over his house. This is when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get cereal, and I looked, and the expiration date, it was like a few years old. So me and my brother started laughing, and we wrote like on it in Sharpie like how old it was and everything. And he was saving it because of whatever athlete was on the box.
Greg Louganis box.
Yeah, he was pissed.
Oh, I can imagine.
But he kept it with the other cereal. Like, it wasn't like he put it...
Yeah, like you put it
in
in
a
your
closet
or
or like on a shelf or anything. It was like in the kitchen. Oh, I got in a lot of trouble.
You should have said, "Hey, Dad, I wanted to surprise your Father's Day, and I tracked down Greg Louganis, and I got him to sign your Wheaties box, and this is what he wrote. How old is your cereal?"
Yeah, isn't he hilarious, Dad? Isn't he really funny?
Take that, Chuck. I'm gonna what beer? I got the Guinness, and I got that Pump Kick.
Ooh,
I'm
that's
dying
up
to
to
try
you.
that Pump
You
Kick.
want to do pump kick?
It's got like pumpkin and cranberry in it. It's like a whole.
All right.
It's a whole mishigas.
It is Halloween.
All
right.
Spooky.
So people watching the live stream, this episode is going to come out on Monday, which is Halloween. So once we get started, if you're wondering why we're acting like it's Halloween today, that's the reason.
Yeah. Oh, Emily Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Queen of Slap. Super Live Kama Sutra.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most straightforward.
She says that's the best.
I think the vote online was for Kyle's Kinks.
That was my favorite. Because
I
you
think
get Kyle's name in there.
You know what? Let's
Kissing Cousins.
if people
like an Elvis
watching
movie,
if people
right?
watching the live streams want to comment, we'll take a look at it later. That'll help narrow it down. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's in reference to last episode. We're not gonna worry about it too much now, but.
Okay, we
Nice.
go get the beer.
Cool.
All right, we start.
Then we'll get started.
You want to roll it? Or you want me to roll? Did you do the last one? Did I do the last one?
I started the last one.
Okay, I'll start.
Yeah. Cool.
Pump Kick.
Who makes it?
New Belgium.
Okay. Oh man.
Where's the bottle openers? Dude, oh no. You know what?
I have one.
You got one?
Yeah.
You know what? We have these cool Super Live Adventure Podcast bottle openers. You think?
You think we'd use them?
Yeah.
I might have one of those in the bag. We gave most of them away.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. There's one I put aside to send out to Johnny Pugs out in Scotland. But,
You know what's funny? I don't think I realized. I think when he called last time, I think he called himself Johnny Bugs, and we didn't catch it.
Johnny Bugs.
Because it was like, remember how Google like transcribed?
Oh yeah.
I think we missed that. It's
Johnny
hard to hear.
Bugs.
Sometimes those voicemails are not the clear. That's not anybody's fault. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, it's not the best quality.
And I blame it on Google. All right, so we got. We'll wait for the episode to start. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. It looks good.
It's a cool bottle.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Okay.
got like a raven with a cranberry in its mouth.
Yeah, and
A
a
jack-o'-lantern. Oh, and the cranberry was like
It's his eye.
part of the jack-o'-lantern's eye. He's taking the eye out.
No, that's really The Walking Dead-esque, huh? See, I'm hip.
You are hip.
I know what happened. I watched that. We'll talk about that. I just watched that scene because I had to because
Okay.
everyone was talking about it.
Well, so the way. Let's talk about Walking Dead at the end.
Yeah, we'll get into the nerdy stuff
because I don't want to
on the
spoil it.
second half.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Actually,
That's
we won't
true.
even spoil it on the stream. So
Yeah,
if you're watching the live stream and you didn't see Walking Dead, don't worry about it. We won't get into it yet.
yeah. The format is, I believe you were saying we do the live stream for half the episode, then the second half. You got to listen to it Monday morning, Halloween morning, or
Yeah.
at your own convenience. You don't have to
You can do it on All
Monday.
Saints Day.
You could do it on Arbor Day.
When's Arbor Day?
It's I don't know. Ask Galadriel.
Well,
I
All
don't
Saints
know.
Day is the day after Halloween. That's why I said All Saints Day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. all
Yeah,
right.
it's my sister's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How is this?
It's good.
Oh, that's really good.
It's good. It's light.
Oh, I enjoy that. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good beer.
So it's got
Oh my
cranberry.
gosh.
It's a pumpkin ale with cranberry juice.
Oh yeah.
Wow, I like that. Okay.
You could really taste that pumpkin spice up in there, you know. All right, I'm just reading with some of you guys. Depot. Oh, for Depot, we randomly find pizza slices around the store. Alex, you worked at an Office Depot. You always find random pizza. That's really strange. Okay. We're gonna start this show.
Let's do it. Oh,
Let's wait for the fire engines and such to pass.
Staten Island's bravest
Yeah.
and finest.
Yeah. It's raining. It always blows my mind. Like houses burning in the rain. Makes no sense.
You should write a letter.
My pool's on fire, Commissioner. Go away. All right. You!
Hi.
You are listening to the Super Live Adventure Podcast.
Hee hee wee.
Halloween.
You caught me off guard. You scared me a
I
little.
did.
I was like, ah.
It's Halloween. You don't know what can happen.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Welcome to episode 116.
116.
Yes. I am Chris Sorrentino.
I am John Saluga.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And,
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we are happy to be talking to you people, or have you listen to us talk
Yes.
about our weird
Weird
happenings.
lives.
Yeah.
And adventures.
Yeah. Our super live adventures.
Oh! All right. What are we drinking?
We are drinking New Belgium Pump Kick for Halloween. I can't see the bells.
Hey. All right. It's good.
Look at that. It is good. What, my bell ringing? I know.
It's all great. Pumpkin beer
No,
with cranberry.
Yeah, dude,
Really
this
nice.
is really good.
Really nice.
Brewed and bottled by New Belgium Brewing, Fort Collins, Colorado, and Asheville, North Carolina. Okay.
Sweet.
Dude, that whole Yingling thing is weird.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna bring it up.
Oh, well, it's beer. Of course I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah. So the CEO of Yingling
Uh-huh.
announced that he's supporting Trump, and people are boycotting Yingling.
Which, that's kind of stupid. I mean, it has nothing to do with Trump.
I
It's not like the proceeds go to Trump.
I saw one guy. I saw somebody in the article. They had some people who posted on Facebook and Twitter about it, and one guy posted something that I do get, and I kind of agree with. Basically saying like he thinks that maybe the biggest vote you have in this country is really just like how you spend your money. Like I say that in capitalism. Like if
Yeah.
you like something, support it. If you don't like something, don't support it. That definitely be nice if everybody did it. Doesn't work that way. But he was just kind of saying like he just doesn't want to give his money to a guy who's then going to use his reach that he has or whatever to support this guy. And look, normally in politics, everybody has a different opinion, and it's like Democrat, Republican, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you should boycott people when you don't agree with them politically. This is a different election because this guy was basically writing saying like, I'm gay and I have friends, and who are black and Hispanic, and it's like it's just this candidate is all about hate, and he's like, I just don't want to support anybody who's supporting that, and he's like, and it's Yingling. He's like, I like Yingling, but
You can live with that.
I don't ever have to. He's like, I can easily replace Yingling with another beer.
Where does it stop? Because like, think of how much shit you consume. Not even fucking monthly, weekly, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Are you tracking down like videos you watch, songs you listen to? Do you know people's affiliation? Like you're.
No, you don't. You don't always know, but I think when you do, you can just make that choice when you do know that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Chick-fil-A.
Oh yes.
That was another thing where it's like, they have every right to say what they want to say, and they had it for religious reasons, and you can just go, okay, well, I'm not.
Yeah.
If they're gonna push that agenda,
yeah,
then I'm just not gonna support that.
Did you ever
place.
eat at Chick-fil-A?
Never did.
Really? I ate it a few times. There's one in the Woodbridge Mall in New Jersey, which is weird because I didn't know any were like above the Mason-Dixon line.
I never had it. I mean, now after that whole thing, I might completely avoid it, but I never had it just because I don't think I ever had the opportunity.
Well, this was like I was a kid. I had it. I had no idea.
I know there are people who love it. I mean, it's a chain, but
I don't remember anything.
The Yingling thing. I don't know, but the
is that gonna stop
Dick
you?
Yingling.
Dick Yingling.
That's the guy's name.
Yeah, that's
Dick Yingling.
That's a great.
Or as my stepfather calls him, Dick Yearlinger.
Yearlinger. Yeah.
People who listen to the show might know that my stepfather can't say Yingling. He says Yearlinger.
Yeah. Dick Dingaling. Somebody calls him that. Nelson Muntz is punching him in the arm at school. He's like, Dick Dingaling. That's what's going on.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Is that going to stop you from dingalinging?
It's in my head now, and I think if I have the choice, I won't.
But if I'm at a party and somebody's like, hey, you need another beer? Yeah, grab me whatever. And they give me a dingalinger. I'm not going to get...
Same here. It's
I'm not
not...
going to turn that down.
No, it's not like... I don't feel like if I drink a Yingling, I don't think I'm like really hurting the planet that much. But I'm going to try to avoid supporting that just because I think it's all...
Excuse me. I'm not going to lie. It's not my first choice of beer anyway.
It's a good cheap beer.
Yeah, you can take it or leave it. It's not like...
America's oldest brewery, right? I think.
America's most racist brewery.
Hey, man. Make America great again.
Yeah.
So
hey, they should know.
It is, it's surprise. He's a rich old white man who, likes Trump. And apparently, and then some people were saying, and I don't know enough about it, but there were a couple comments saying people shouldn't drink Yingling anyway because some people feel like they just don't treat their employees that well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, weren't they like... I think they're like against unions or something like that. And
yeah. Oh, anyway, enough of the politics.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into bad news today?
Yeah. Well, let's just get it over with. Let's have a shot. A friend of ours passed away. We just found out today. I guess he passed away this morning. I don't know the exact time.
It seems like everyone at least found out today.
Yeah.
But Hot Time Harv.
Yeah.
Friend of ours.
He's a past guest on, let's see what episode.
I
don't remember.
It's an early one. It's either like 20s or 30s.
I think it might have been on the cusp of 30. I think it might have actually been like 29. I'm sorry, this is like all stuff we should have
had ready. But we found, we found out just a few hours ago. Like, I found out before I left work, and I haven't had a chance. Episode... 29. Yeah. So if you want to listen to that, it's one of my favorites. Hot Time Harv, super funny guy. Met him 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it was 10 years ago last month, because we did a show You and I were doing a
Wow,
sketch
yeah.
comedy show.
Yeah, what did
It was
September,
it was
yeah.
Rosh Hashanah 2006.
Yeah, or Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah.
It, yeah.
Yeah, and we had a band. So Chris and I would do sketch comedy. We would do live sketch and show videos, and we would book stand-up comics.
Yeah.
And then we would
With
always
McGuckin, Brian McGuckin.
with Brian McGuckin and Frank LaMonica and
Damien
other
Lucchese,
people who came and went.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we would always have a band play at the end. So we had a band booked, and it was only like a couple days before. Do you remember this? The band canceled
because
they didn't.
The drummer
was Jewish, and they forgot that, and he was celebrating Rosh Hashanah. So I had to scramble to book another band, and I did. And then they canceled like the day before because their drummer was Jewish. It was the same excuse.
It's the Jewish drummer union of Staten Island.
So it was so ridiculous, and I went home, and this is 2006. So I logged into MySpace, as people do, and I had
people did.
I had a friend. Yes, it's true. I had a friend request from somebody named Hot Time Harp, and because MySpace, you got a lot of random shit.
Yeah.
And I click on the guy's profile, and he was out in New Jersey, and he's there with like a ukulele. And I remember I watched the video of him like playing a song, and it made me laugh. And I shot him a message, just like, "Hey, thanks for the request. I'm doing the show tomorrow. We had a band cancel. If you ever want to come to Staten Island." And I think they asked if there was money involved, and I was like, no. It was a total free show. I was like, it's just for fun.
I think beer. I think we gave them beer.
Yeah, and they came. They came, and they did a half-hour show that I'm really happy I recorded. I actually have video of it. If you listen to that episode on the app, the bonus content is the full 30-minute performance from 10 years ago.
That's great. We should post that again.
I posted it.
Okay.
Yeah, I posted it today, and so you actually don't have to listen with the app too. If you go to like my Facebook page, I put it on, and we'll share that everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's great. It's that whole half hour. I remember he went up there. He was so bizarre, and he
out of his mind.
People laughed so because we used to book bands all the time, and I would feel bad because people watch a comedy show, and then the band a lot of times would be like background music.
Yeah.
People were talking, and they had the full attention of like 80 plus people. Just laughing. You remember they won the whole room over.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like Harv himself. He's a character, a complete character. Like he's very, just a very explosive guy. Like you would see him, he'd be wearing like these not matching tweed coats with jackets and
Hawaiian
ties
shirts
and Hawaiian shirts. Yeah, and like these like horn rimmed glasses, and his face is red, and his hair is slicked back. He kind of looked like a thinner Matt Foley, Chris Farley character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's dumping beer on his head and pushing his hair back with it. I've never seen anybody do that. And his bandmates, he would play the ukulele. He had this other guy, J-Boy Shine, who I think he played guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just this big dude, nice guy. And then he had
J-Boy also played ukulele. He played ukulele.
He played ukulele too? Alright.
Maybe they were both playing ukes that night.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think they might have been.
He's a big dude, so anything in his hand kind of looked small anyway. And then
I don't remember the bass player's name.
I don't either, but he looked like Saddam Hussein with like a pork pie hat and glasses.
It was like if Saddam Hussein and Charlie Chaplin had a baby. That's what that guy looked like.
Saddam Chaplin.
Right? Isn't that
yes.
what he looked like?
He was playing like a big stand-up bass.
He looked like, in Borat, his manager or whatever was on the road with him.
Okay, yeah.
When that guy dresses as Charlie Chaplin on the Hollywood Walk of Fame or whatever, like, that's what he looked like.
Yeah, he kind of did.
That's what he looked like.
Yeah. Who knows what's up with that?
That guy, he had a weird little bass, like a mini
ukulele. Oh, I thought he had the
size.
stand-up.
He's done both, but with us, remember he had that weird little one?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, he had some weird. I've never seen anything like it.
Maybe I've seen him other places.
We saw them other times.
Yeah, I've seen him with the stand-up. Maybe that's what I thought.
I hung at the ukulele festival with those guys years ago.
Yeah.
He made a movie that Chris played a part in.
Yeah, Filthy Rich, Filthy Uncle Phil is the name of the movie.
That's right. That movie premiered at a ukulele festival.
I wish I was.
It had an all ukulele soundtrack.
I like how I actually have a credit on IMDb from it, and my name is spelled completely wrong. It's Sorrento, like the Kia.
Oh, classic.
Like the cheese.
You can reach out to IMDb and request a change, a correction.
I don't think I want to. That's okay. That's okay, Filthy Rich, Filthy Uncle Phil.
That's fine.
But also he, weirdly enough, I saw him like years later at a Jonathan Colton concert, he had all these. He must have put a call out, Jonathan Colton, and to any ukulele players in New York City or New Jersey. So he went on stage with like 50 ukulele players, and they were all playing this song together. It was just bizarre.
Yeah.
But man, Harv, he was one of us. He was a crazy person. He was a nerd. He was
eccentric.
He was an outcast from normalcy.
Multiple
like
characters.
us.
He also, we knew the ukulele kind of like weirdo crooner. He also was. You could also see him perform as Buzz Heavy.
Yeah.
Where he
was like a glam rock punk band.
Yeah, I mean that was what was crazy, and like none of these are his real names, obviously.
No.
He did share his real name, but he didn't like to do that publicly, so I'm still not going to do that.
I'm not going to do it either, but
I
saw somebody posted it.
Sure. Yeah.
As if you remember real name /Buzz/Harv, I just wanted to let you know.
There were a couple times I called him, and I expecting to talk to Harv, and I was talking to Buzz.
Yeah, you didn't know who you were going to get.
It was so bizarre.
Yeah.
The world was a lot more fun with that guy in it.
Yeah.
And glad I got to know him through, and met him in like I said, it was a MySpace thing. And there were definitely chunks of time that went by. I'm glad we got him on the show.
Oh, he was great. His episode is amazing.
And maybe a little sad too, because look, he partied hard. Like we don't know what happened.
No, I don't know. I don't know the circumstances.
We had seen things on Facebook where it seems like maybe he wasn't doing so great for a little while. Definitely had some health issues, but I don't know exactly what. But that was a weird thing. Somebody at work was like, saw that I got upset when I found out, and she was like, she's like, oh, was it unexpected? And I was like, no. And it's, I don't mean that to be shitty, but, and I think we all know people like this in life. Like, we've known him for 10 years, and I think the day I met him, it was like, this is one of those guys who, like, look, he might be like a Keith Richards, and somehow he just keeps fucking going, or like, you live that hard, and like sometimes like shit happens.
And you're just gonna go down.
Because God, man, what a wild man.
Yeah.
I mean, like really, really
he was a
wild
beast.
man.
He was wild,
Yeah.
and
I can't recommend that episode enough.
Yeah. Also, and just look him up. Hot Time Harv's Roller Coaster of Kicks. Harv McFine.
That album is it's online. It's on Amazon. You can get. I'm telling
got
you.
a sack of peanuts. Like, dude, it's funny stuff.
I love the man.
Yeah.
So here's to Harv.
Here's to you, Harv.
I miss you, buddy.
Sláinte.
So,
all right.
Sad start.
Yeah, so let's get into the comedy.
All right.
Let's try to be funny.
Well, some people might be listening for the first time. If you're a regular listener and you listen first thing on Monday, I do have to plug tonight.
Mm-hmm.
There's a making of Impractical Jokers special.
Yeah.
In fact, we're coming out of a weekend of, I think it's 60 straight hours. They're marathoning every episode of Impractical Jokers.
Oh, really?
From the first one up until that special.
Wow.
And it's a behind the scenes making of special that's really funny, really sweet, really interesting, and I'm in it. I talked about it on a previous episode, but I won't say too much now. We'll talk about it next week. But check it out, because basically I was the victim of an Impractical Jokers prank.
Yeah.
And I think people are going to enjoy that. And if you're listening to this podcast because you just watched that special and maybe that led you here, welcome.
Yeah.
Hey. Hope you like it.
Yeah. Hey.
That's I did just want
welcome aboard.
Take care of a little bit of business with that. I actually, again, we should have done more homework. We'll look it up over the break. It might be like an 8 p.m. start. I'm not exactly sure what time that special's on.
Check your local listing.
Yeah.
True TV.
Monday night, True TV, at the end of the Impractical Jokers marathon.
Okay.
And this is all leading up to Thursday night's 2-hour live finale, which I will be at. I'll be at the Prudential Center, so if anybody's going to be around...
Oh, you're going to be there?
I'm going to be there with most of the
Oh, we gotta
most of
figure
the
out what we're
crew.
gonna record then.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Q, I can actually say this because Q revealed it on the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast. But Q,
Oh, it's public? All right.
yeah, not all the details, but while training for this live special, Q got hurt.
Yeah.
Badly, like messed up his ribs, has nerve damage in his hip. He's recovering. He's not going to be able to do all the things that he was supposed to do in that live special. But there is going to be a guest replacement chosen by Q to kind of fill in for him.
Can you say who that is?
No.
Okay.
No. But it's I'll tell you later. It's very weird. It was funny.
Is it who I think it is?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
All right, let's talk later.
I know my wife is excited about it.
Okay, so it is good.
It might be, yeah, I think it is. And for her, it was really weird when I come home and she's like, "How was your day?" And I was like, "We were coming up with comedy for," and I said this guy's name, and I got this look that's just like, this is the world we live in now.
I can't believe you guys got Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
It's insane. That's what my wife would be like, "Oh."
All right. Well, this is a nice segue if
Yeah.
you want to get into that, because Doctor Strange is coming out.
Oh,
my fucking doctor.
Quite a segue. That's a strange segue.
Strange.
Oh my.
All right.
Goodness.
So I have talked about this on stage as a stand-up.
Yeah.
I've talked about it on this podcast, but for years, I'm talking about maybe since I was like, whenever I stopped going to a pediatrician, so maybe like 12 or 13 or like whatever, you know what I mean? I don't remember, but I started going to a doctor.
For business, not for pleasure. You never stop seeing one for pleasure.
I went to my doctor, my primary care physician, for 20 years.
Yeah.
Was a guy named Dr. Strange on Staten Island. And here's what's crazy. So I'm a kid, and I remember going to the doctor with my brother, and we had a Marvel card, like a Doctor Strange Marvel card, to give to him. And he's like, "What's this?" And we're like, "It's Doctor Strange, like from the comic book." And he gave us a look like no one ever.
Nobody put that together. Seriously.
I guess his patients either didn't know the comic or just never brought it up. But it was like he didn't know what we were talking about.
And he was a pediatrician. No kids.
No.
knew.
He wasn't when I stopped going to the pediatrician.
Oh, and you went to. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
Then
right.
he became my doctor, and it's weird. I gotta be careful because my dad works with the hospital. There is like a connection there. My mom used to work at the hospital. That's how she met Doctor Strange in the first place. I used to like him a lot. I stopped going to him because it was real. He's one of those doctors that I think he's got a lot going on, and it was like in and out. Last time I went for an annual checkup, and here I am now, like mid-30s, looking to have a kid. I wanted like a thorough checkup.
Yeah, tune-up. Check under the hood.
Are there any and I was due for things I didn't get, like tetanus shot and stuff like that and everything, and I went for blood work, and I remember he came into the room, he shook my hand, he's like, asking about my family. He looks at the computer, he brings up the blood work results, and he goes, "All right, everything's good, I'll see you in a year." And he started walking out, and I was like, "Do you want to examine me?
Look at
blood
my
pressure?"
Yeah. You can have anything happening.
Turn your head and cough.
Yeah.
And he was
Well, you went in specifically for that. Like, you're not going to grab my nuts?
That's my thing. I love that.
I'm paying you and you're not even going to grab my testicles? Doctor Strange?
And he kind of brushed me off. He was like, "Nah," and he left. And I remember going home with
what a shitbag.
You know when you go to the doctor and you haven't been there in a while, or you go to the dentist and you leave and you're like, there's like a relief. Like, yeah. I'm okay. Like, everything's... I don't have cavities.
Shaky.
I left there just like, I don't know. My blood's okay. Like, there was nothing like that alarming. So, but I went to him for so long because I liked saying that my doctor was Doctor Strange.
Just for
that. Just because I'm a nerd.
Oh, God.
I just like...
You know who's a better doctor? Dr. Batman. Should have went to Dr. Batman.
He's a way better doctor.
Dude, was it weird, though, when you went to Doctor Strange and, like, the times he did check you out, he would, like, look at you and go, like, "By the hoary hosts of Havelth!
I wish.
The Eye of Agamotto!" When he yelled those weird...
No, it's just, "How's your mom?"
Oh.
Yeah.
He needs to... He should yell the...
I swear to God, I went to him for a long time because I just liked that his name was Doctor Strange, even though he was not being a good doctor.
And the red cape. The red cape's pretty cool. The pencil-thin mustache that's a that's a sealer.
So here's
That's
what
a
he
deal
did.
stealer.
I sent you a link. Did you watch the video?
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh boy, did I!
Doctor Strange
Terrible.
and Staten Island University Hospital,
Yeah.
where you work.
No, I don't work there. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry.
By the loose lips of Lip Nicky!
My dad's boss is in that video.
Yeah, you're telling
It's
me.
crazy.
I know a bunch of the idiots.
You know all those.
I was telling my
It's a
wife.
very Staten Island video. They made
Yeah.
a video to promote the hospital using the fact that his name is Doctor Strange, because now that there's a movie coming up, people don't give a shit about comic books, but once it's a movie,
Oh,
suddenly
yeah,
now he's in.
yeah. Whoa,
I told him 20 years ago there was something called Doctor Strange. He didn't give a shit.
No, but now there's a movie.
Yeah.
A Benedict Cumberbatch!
So you know a lot of those people.
By the coarse calls of Cumberbatch!
I like that your Doctor Strange is basically the Venture Brothers.
Yeah, it's Dr. Orpheus.
He's Dr. Orpheus, which is the perfect Doctor Strange as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned.
Oh, man.
But you knew a lot of the people in the video.
Yeah, I knew a bunch of... there's a security guard in it, and I just watched it. I'm like, this guy is like... I don't know if I should say this live streaming on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'll yeah.
Yeah, my dad. It's funny. I saw my dad.
Just a Trump supporter. I'm just gonna say that. Trump.
Okay.
Trump supporter. That's not politically incorrect. You could call somebody a Trump supporter because he's a Trump supporter.
Yeah. That video. It's very Staten Island. That video.
Very.
It's way too long.
Pete Davidson would hate it.
Yes, he would. We'll get into that next. The Doctor Strange thing. It's like 5 minutes, and it's really weird. So it's my old doctor trying to do comedy,
Yeah.
which is. It almost made me angry because it was so not funny, and he's being a dick. He didn't write the thing, but the way they're setting it up is it's almost like he's like. The whole video is how he's like the real Doctor Strange and the better Doctor Strange. And
If
he's, like,
I had
angry.
magic powers, I would make this traffic disappear. Like he's driving into the city, and that's the stuff he's saying.
But it's a lot of it's so the weirdest part is he goes to JHU Comics in Manhattan,
Where
friends
we
of
did,
ours, and they were
we did a show from that shop.
which is where Benedict Cumberbatch also popped up in costume while he was filming the movie.
Yeah.
But now he's there and he's got a T-shirt that has like Doctor Strange with like a line through it.
Yeah, like the Ghostbuster logo, but Doctor Strange instead of a ghost.
The weirdest part is he goes up to a kid in the comic book store. He's there with his family. He's got a business card. And he goes, "Hey, do you play sports?" And the kid goes, "Yeah, like whatever." And he goes, "Oh, well, if you ever get a concussion, we have a like." It's like a weird. He's like, "Oh, when kids get concussions, we have a treatment center. So here's my card if you ever need." It's like,
I like
it's like a crazy thing to say to a kid.
I like it. It's like that scene in Goodfellas when like what's his name when Robert De Niro's sending Lorraine Bracco like no get the coats, they're in the back. They're in the back. She's like, I gotta go, Jimmy. I gotta go. Like he's just sending the kids in the back, and there's a bunch of thugs there with bats waiting to give the kid a concussion. No, go get the Doctor Strange comics. They're in the back.
Dude, everybody that worked in the hospital. There's that one guy standing by like a machine that like. Because I watched the whole video, it's like I know he's like in a hospital, but the way that guy's talking, if you just took that clip, I think it was some like modern like meatball machine. The way he was talking.
Modern meatball
Do you know what I mean?
machine. I got a meatball machine obsession.
He was like a character out of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
With like hospital equipment.
Modern meatball machine.
The Staten Island accent, which look, I have.
Yeah.
By the way, mine's been like kind of creeping back more.
Yeah, because you hang out with me.
Maybe because I'm hanging out with you. Maybe because I write for like 3 out of the 4 Impractical Jokers have Staten Island accents.
Yeah.
Murr worked on his same as I did because I saw Murr giving his salutatorian speech in high school. I watched video of it, and the Staten Island accent's there, and I was like, whoa! But it's the same way with me. It was just mine was way stronger. Like I had the exact same accent as my mother. And I just kind of
no, don't say that.
I did.
Yeah?
Dude, I could pull up video from me as a kid.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's
why I do such a good impression. It's just me, that's the real me that comes out. It's not even, oh, you do a good impression of your mother. It's like, yeah.
No, I am my mother.
No, I'm trying, every day I'm just trying to do an impression of a normal person.
You got long mom hair. Like, how did that happen?
Dude, she
you lift up your shirt, it's like just the guys. You have a luscious pair of breasts.
She called me yesterday.
Just one of the guys.
You would have loved it, man.
She showed you her breasts?
She showed me her breasts.
Luscious.
No, I haven't seen my mom's breasts in 20 years. Maybe longer.
Yeah? So you were like 16, 17?
Yeah, probably. My mom didn't like to close doors. It was like a thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're getting excited.
Yeah, I was saying this must have been like right before I met you, because I would have running all around that house like the road runner.
Yeah. Well, she called me yesterday and she's like, oh, I have a story. You wait till you hear what happened.
John's mom making another appearance on the show.
appearance.
It's been a while.
She was
I
so
haven't
funny,
been
man.
a guest
So
in a long time.
next to my mother's house, the guy who used to live there, marriage fell apart. I don't know if he's renting the house out or somebody else bought it, but the house is getting rented out, and there's just a ton of people in there, and they're all like, the house has been raided more than once by police.
Oh, jeez, yeah, I've heard.
It's
yeah,
like whenever, like in the paper, when they like round up a bunch of guys and they like, the cops like find all these like guns and drugs and everything. It's like it's like a problem house. So my mom's always nervous about her neighbors. So she's leaving for work in the morning, and there's like a big wooden picket fence, and she said it was like, she's walking, and all of a sudden the fence was like boom, 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 and the fence was shaking. She said it felt like somebody was like trying to like frantically climb over the fence, and she's thinking it's somebody in the house in trouble who's like running out. And she actually got mad at herself because she said that like she should have ran in the house, and she just froze. Like she just froze in the yard, really? Not knowing what to do. It was a deer.
What?
Yeah, a deer got caught, and deer is still pretty new to us Staten Islanders. Like, it's funny that we have them here, but they're just more of this shit's gonna happen because there's nowhere for them to go. Like, the population keeps going, and we can't really.
The population is still going up.
They're working on it.
They were getting it under control.
They're trying to do stuff with birth control and everything, because you can't have hunting here, so it makes it a lot harder.
I just want to say very quickly, it's really strange when you talk to somebody else from another borough of New York, like Queens or Bronx or Manhattan or Brooklyn, and they're like, oh man, like my car got broken into. Like, yeah, over by me, deer's a real problem. Deer. Like, you just get laughed at. Man.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you fucking hayseed.
I know. It's like it's still like, it's
ridiculous.
My mother's neighborhood where I grew up, that was that was like the sticks on Staten Island.
Yeah.
It's changed a lot now, but there is still that element. So this deer basically makes its way like over the fence and into the yard, like scares the shit out of my mother, and like takes off. And then she goes to work, and she works in a pet store. And then she said, like, and she goes, and then I was all shook up, and I ran out in a hurry, and I went to work, and then it came time for lunch, and I was so excited for my lunch. And I opened, I
had meatballs,
and I took the bag out, and I pulled out, and I packed for myself for lunch half a can of cat food. I don't know how I did it. And I was like, what? So it's like, she works at a pet store. She probably came into work like a deer chased me.
Yeah.
And then she's the lady who, like, it was time for her lunch break, pulled out, and it wasn't just a can of cat food, it was a can of cat food that had already been opened, and it had one of those rubber lids on it, like when you keep it in the refrigerator. So she looked like the lady who was gonna, like, just start eating cat food on her lunch break in a pet store. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it was so nuts. It's funny. This is that stage where it's like, I think I'm officially worrying about her more than she worries about me.
I'd be worried about the cat, because what's it going to eat?
Oh, the cat's probably at home having a sandwich. Are you kidding me?
The cat's got a nice pastrami on rye.
That cat ate like a king.
And your mom has half a can of Friskies.
The cat was like, she turned away from her lunch for a second, and the cat was like,
yeah, the old
switcheroo.
Yo, the poison's in which drink, Ma? I don't know. The old Princess Bride.
She killed me with that. It was
That's
so funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that's what's up with Diane these days.
So, I ate the cat food.
What was I gonna do? I have to eat.
That's all they had in the store was various animal foods.
If I don't eat, I get a headache.
If I don't eat, that deer keeps chasing me. It'd be great if it was just all in her fucking head. It goes away when she eats cat food. It's just like a chemical in cat food that makes it like normal again.
Oh God, there's a homeless lady I pass every day going to work who she screams into a cell phone that's clearly not working, but like What if
buy, sell, like
what
that?
yes. No,
No, really?
Yeah, it really is. Like,
Oh God!
you tell them the deal's off. Like she's just always
Oh
like
my God!
yelling
She
at
has
herself.
a whole pretend life. That's
Yeah.
even worse than having a pretend
But
phone. Is a
but
pretend life.
What you just said is like my mother's like in an alley somewhere, like talking to me, like a deer chased me and I ate cat food. Like, where are you? I have to come get you. Like,
She doesn't even have a phone. She has like empty cat food can on a string.
who was I talking to?
Oh my gosh!
That was insane.
That's hysterical.
So, you did bring up Pete Michaels.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Michaels is. I confused the two. You know Pete Michaels?
No, I don't know Pete Michaels.
Pete Michaels is the Staten Island ventriloquist.
Oh gosh.
I'm okay. So I was waiting. At least I made it this far. Chris and I are going on very little sleep.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that all day, like having trouble with my words and saying the wrong thing, and I'm like really tired because we had a good time last night.
I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with my friends like Tuesday night until 2 in the morning, and then
Yeah.
last night we were at a show in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You want to get it? Let's get into it.
Yeah, there's a show
Trick or
that
Treat.
happens every year, and now it's in New York and in LA. Yeah, it's called Trick or Treat, and it's a Halloween show. Couple comedian friends of mine, Mark Norman and Matt Ruby, they host it every year. Basically, comedians dress up like other comedians, more famous comedians.
Oh God, it was so fucking
And they
good.
get on stage and they do 2 minutes of their material.
I picture there's like 40 comics doing 2 minutes apiece. It was
And it's so
amazing.
good. And what I love about the show, and I said this to you, and I think you'll agree, like when somebody does a great impression, it's amazing.
Yeah.
When somebody does a bad impression, it's amazing.
It's even more
And then
amazing.
some people do a twist. So there was a guy, and I'm sorry, I forget. I don't know everybody who was performing, but there was a guy who went up as Andrew Dice Clay.
This was, you know what? I want to renege. I said the other one we were talking about last night. The Regan thing was my favorite. I think the Dice thing was my favorite.
Dice was the most
In
clever.
retrospect.
Regan was the best impression, I think.
The Richard Pryor one was pretty.
Richard Pryor was
Yeah.
great. Richard Pryor was
All
great.
right, so anyway, this Dice
Guy went up as Andrew Dice Clay. He does a classic Andrew Dice Clay
lights
joke.
a cigarette. Yeah, it's the whole like
Lights a
I'm licking this chick's ass on the back, like that whole.
And then he starts doing Donald Trump quotes about grabbing women by the pussy, and when you're famous, you can do whatever you want. Everything. And
As Trump, literal quotes.
literal quotes as Dice Clay, and it
I
works.
as Trump, as Clay. Yeah.
It works like Dice material.
Yeah, oh,
The
so
place went
perfect.
crazy.
So
And you know what's
perfect.
funny? He came out, he looked the part, he lit the cigarette, and then he started doing the voice, and I was like a little disappointed. Like, it wasn't the best impression.
No.
And then when he did the Trump thing, it was like, oh, like he won me over
Yeah.
with that. The guy who did Brian Regan, you want to explain it? Because that was hilarious, too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so if you don't know Regan, really funny comic, but he doesn't work blue at all. He doesn't curse, he doesn't say any, not even like innuendo. He's just really.
He's so clean
just-
that, but he's not Mormon, but when he goes out to like Utah and stuff,
Oh, they must love him, yeah.
he's like the favorite comedian of the Mormons.
Yeah.
He sells out like arenas because he's just safe. He's like
Yeah.
that clean.
But so this guy doing him, and I don't remember the comic's name, I'm sorry.
Well, they don't even say the comic's name.
Yeah.
So when
that's
you
true.
go to this show, they just go, "Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Regan."
Yeah. So, yeah. So he comes out and he's doing the whole, you know, like. And
He got laughs before he said anything because he walked.
Yeah.
He walked like him.
Yeah.
He had like Brian Regan's face, Brian Regan's walk, and we were already like, "This is." You know when a good impression's coming.
Yeah, and the first thing he says is like, "So I'm eating my wife's pussy." I'm like, "Yes!" He did like a blue Regan.
It was Brian Regan acting like a dope who didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like his wife was getting mad at him because he was doing a lousy job going down on his wife. It was like a filthy Brian Regan set.
Oh, it was perfect.
That was one of the best things. They closed it out with Jackass,
Oh yeah.
which I didn't love.
Yeah.
It was a way to just make a big mess and go crazy. But what was funny was they pull out Wee Man, and it's a guy on his knees,
Yeah.
and they go,
Dwarf style.
and they go, "Hey, Wee Man's got a joke," and they give him the microphone, and he goes, "I'm a human being."
Yeah, that was.
That's one of the best jokes of the
Yeah.
night. Doug Smith, who we almost had on the show, and he he had to cancel because of some family stuff. We're gonna get him on.
Yeah.
He did Borat at the beginning.
He was great.
He was an amazing Borat, and then, oh my God, he talked about. We haven't talked about this on the show, but he started joking as Borat about Aaron Glazer, who's a New York comic that I know, who was banned from UCB, and then as a result banned from other venues and shows.
He
all these women came out in the comedy community with all these rape allegations. And
what was he doing? He was like roofing, right?
I
It wasn't like
to this,
hold you down and rape you, like a weird.
I hear different things.
Yeah.
I don't know what the whole story is. I heard enough to know that like I believe that he was doing this stuff. In fact, I saw him. He works at an Apple store in Manhattan. How he's even still in New York? Like the Daily News wrote an article about it with his photo in it.
No
and
shit.
it's how this guy's like banned from the comedy community.
And he
because
still has a
raped
job
people.
with Apple?
Dude, I hate to say it, but like if it was me, and like my whole thing was I just wanted to do comedy and I lived in New York, and suddenly it was out there that I was like, I mean, he did it to himself, but like I think I'd end it.
Gone. Yeah,
I'd either change my name and move to another fucking place, or I'd step in front of a train.
And grow a mustache and start working at a Cinnabon in Nebraska, like Better Call Saul style.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. But anyway, so Doug Smith making fun of that. And you know what I love? That was kind of at the very beginning. He was like the second one to go. I love at a show like that, right at the top, set the tone.
Yeah.
Just go like, you know what I mean? Because it was like, he definitely crossed the line in a good way. And then, and then
for it. That's what I said there.
And then it's that thing,
right out the gate.
And it's that thing where the audience, it's kind of like, this is the show.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like it, you can leave.
Yeah.
But anything goes here. He was one of the best. A lot of people are saying he had the best set of the night.
He did a damn good Borat impression.
Yeah.
Looked the part and everything. There was like a dude doing Andy Kaufman. This girl, I don't know who it was either.
David Tell.
David Tell. That was so fucking funny. She
So
was
good.
fucking hysterical.
I was really impressed by a lot of people.
There's a girl doing Sam Kinison with the I'm with her slant and everything.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I actually sent it, John. We were sitting there having beers before. I was like, I'd like to see like a girl doing Kinison, like a real like coming out. But I said like a real tiny petite girl.
You said it, and then
this girl wasn't petite, like tiny little girl.
But she came out and she did a decent Kinnison.
She did a great Kinnison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a blast. So that is my Halloween tradition now. It's the first time you did it. It's the first time Jay Miller did it.
I'm gonna be. Oh yeah, Jay Miller was out. Casey Jost was
Jay
out.
Miller.
Sal Volcano was out last night.
It's the perfect show for Jay Miller to watch.
Yeah.
Because he has the same thing I have, where it's like, first of all, he's a huge comedy nerd, so he gets all of it. He gets because some of this stuff's obscure. Yeah. There were a couple things even where I felt like if I brought my wife, I'd be explaining a lot more. I had to explain a couple things to you because it's just some of it's that audience.
Some is super inside.
How inside is that audience?
Yeah. Well, there was a girl doing like Gilda Radner old SNL sketch.
Yeah.
But she played like she played like a kid in her basement.
Yeah.
Doing
doing the show.
The Gilda Radner show. Yeah. Whatever the character's name was.
Yeah.
And to me, some of that old SNL doesn't translate. So I just kind of did the old like And Jay was like, I love Gilda Radner. This is great. Yeah. I was like, it doesn't really do anything for me. He's like, nope.
Jay's like,
all right.
And that's the thing with Jay. So when somebody comes out, if it's like Gilda Radner or like Henny Youngman or anything like that, he's a big comedy geek, so he loves that. He also loves a train wreck. So when somebody comes out,
he loves Kaufman too. I know that. I've talked a lot of Kaufman.
So when somebody does it right, he loves it, and then when somebody comes out and totally fucking bombs, he loves it. And the hosts on this show, when somebody bombs, the hosts are mean.
Oh, they're brutal.
It's so
hysterical.
Mean, and it's so funny. Yeah. I mean, to see somebody like get off the stage and like Mark Norman goes up there and then he's just like, all right, let's get back to the comedy.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny.
Well, like I remember the dude who did Clay, and he was like, Mark Norman was like, that was good. This was the first time I've ever seen him be funny.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
Yeah, it's
just, but you could tell it's all in fun. Like these are guys. It's like if you listen to me and John break each other's balls. Like it's guys who know each other. They're having fun.
You don't step foot on that stage if those guys don't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really like it's a family. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what I love when comedians get together and bust each other's balls. It's like it's the best, and it's all of that.
Oh, our past guest Steve Whalen was on it.
Steve Whalen was on it.
Did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
he did The Critic.
Oh yeah, the John Lovitz,
Mm-hmm.
Jay Sherman.
Yeah.
He did that.
He did do that. Moving on.
He kept the show moving along.
That's what he said. I felt like it came to a halt for 2 minutes.
Nevertheless.
Whatever. Hey, shit. No, Steve maybe had the worst. It was rough. It was a little rough.
The Leslie Jones was pretty bad.
Yeah. But it's hard.
But Michael Shea came out for that.
You said the funniest thing about that. So Michael Shea gets on stage to introduce the person who was doing Leslie Jones.
Yeah.
And then later that night I said to Chris, I was like, it's cool that Michael Shea was there. And he goes, that was really him?
Yeah.
So like, you thought you saw the best Michael Shea.
Yeah.
So the guy
Michael Shea from SNL Weekend Update. Yeah.
So the guy had the best impression in the world, and they just used it to introduce somebody playing Leslie Jones?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hey, by the way, if it sounds like we're being mean, ragging on anybody, it's really we're ragging on people doing an impression of it. Like it's not. I'm not judging anybody's comedy.
No, of course not.
This is all about like you live or die. You don't know how it's gonna go. Some things were great. Some things were terrible. Robert Dean, I thought, did a really good Howie Mandel. He did crowd work as Howie Mandel, and
it was very authentic.
It was really authentic. It was funny in a really cheesy '80s comedy way.
Yeah, he was good. He was very good.
He comes out and he's like, hey, what do you do? And a woman said, I'm a teacher, and he goes, you're a t-shirt? Like, do you remember that?
Yeah,
he's like,
oh, where are you? I was like, oh man, that's such a bad Howie Mandel.
And then he did.
Like, it's perfect.
It was great. And then he did the rubber glove on his head. And the one thing I said to him after, I was like, dude, it was great, but I was waiting for a blood capsule.
We both said that. We both looked at each other when he was doing it.
I was waiting for blood.
If he does it.
If people don't know, if you look up old Howie Mandel stand-up from the 80s, one of his big moves was he would put a rubber glove on his head.
I think this is his big move.
It was a big, but it was.
Yeah.
He would pull it down over his nose, and he would blow through his nose and inflate it.
Yeah.
Until it popped. By the way, Robert Dean wasn't able to. It's hard to do.
Well, he had a wig on, and I could see that maybe hindered it.
But you have to like blow out of your nose really hard, and the reason why I say that is Howie Mandel doesn't do it anymore, because the last time he did it, he was on stage. And a blood vessel burst.
Yeah.
So imagine Howie Mandel's on stage being goofy and either coked out or acting like he was, because that was his whole character, right? And all of a sudden, this glove, giant air-filled glove on his head, fills with blood, and the man collapses on stage. If I ever get my hands on a time machine, people are always like, I'm gonna kill Hitler. I'm gonna see what happened to the dinosaurs. I'm always like, I'm gonna watch Howie Mandel burst a blood vessel and collapse. I'm gonna watch Gallagher have a heart attack on stage.
I want to be at that speech Kelsey Grammer gave where he was drunk and fell off the stage.
I want to be
I want to do that.
I want to be at Siegfried and Roy when a tiger bites his head and drags him.
That would be the best.
I'm just gonna.
I want to be at the Kramer racist thing.
Yeah, I just want a front row seat at everything that's entertaining. I'm not gonna change the world at all. It's just gonna be there's gonna be one guy laughing that you didn't hear before.
Yeah.
In all the videos.
John and Chris, worst time travelers ever. You've squandered your time traveling abilities for your own comedic pleasure.
Even things that are caught on video. It's like I want to be there. I want to be in the room when it happens. So I thought. Yeah, and that was it.
Who were those guys laughing as the Hindenburg crash?
Oh, God.
The humanity!
But to finish the Howie Mandel thing, Howie Mandel went to the doctor, and the doctor was just like, you can't do this anymore.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Again, like, he was going to do, like, permanent damage to himself. So he had to retire that whole bit. God. Howie Mandel, I remember seeing Howie Mandel do his, like, Carson appearance. And it's like, he gave Johnny Carson 3D glasses to put on. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, it was his first time on Carson. He's like, oh, it's really cool. And he takes a piece of paper and he like folds it and folds it and folds it. He like keeps folding this piece of paper and then he takes a piece of paper and he threw it and hit Johnny Carson square in the face.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments where...
Yeah, do that to Carson. Oh,
well,
Jesus.
It's like, if Carson likes it, it's the smartest thing you ever did. You like it, it'll make you.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't like you, he doesn't like what you did. And Carson, like, he did the slow turn to the camera, and it got a huge laugh.
Yeah.
And it worked, and it was like, that was one of his big moments.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a stupid, ballsy move that worked.
Could have went the wrong way.
Could have went the wrong way, but he made him laugh. And Carson played it right. Carson just like kind of dead, from what I remember, like dead with 3D glasses, like deadpan did that like slow turn to the camera.
Yeah.
And
that was a 70s, early 80s move, mugging for the camera.
Everybody loved it.
If that didn't happen, we wouldn't have had Bobby's World.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Bobby. Also, not unlike, people forget that Howie Mandel was the voice of Gizmo in Gremlins.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And Gremlins 2, the new batch.
That's right.
Alright, so...
We always bring up Gremlins.
You have to. It wouldn't be a podcast without bringing up Gremlins. So, the Pete Davidson thing...
Pete Davidson, who I called Pete Michaels.
He, not the ventriloquist Pete Michaels, but the comic Pete Davidson. He's currently on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
He, is
He's
from
a stand-up.
Staten Island.
He's a stand-up from Staten Island, and he's a young kid.
Early
Early 20s.
Collectively and separately, we know a lot of stand-ups from Staten Island. I'd say just about everybody. Never seen him, never met him. So I don't know where he played. I don't know if you've seen him.
Yeah, and that's the thing about... So Pete Davidson was interviewed, and he was asked about Staten Island.
Well, I have it right here. I have the direct quote.
Let's hear it.
It's the interview. You can find it on UpRocks.
Yeah.
It's UPROXX, I guess, .com. Vince Mancini is the guy who interviewed him. And this is a direct quote from that interview. Vince said, "You're from Staten Island. You're pretty close to home at SNL. How much did getting on the show change your daily life?" So Pete Davidson responded with, "Fuck them, they all suck. They have nothing to do with me or my success. It's a terrible borough filled with terrible people. A fucking tidal wave could take out Staten Island and I wouldn't even move in my sleep. In fact, I would sleep better. Fuck Staten Island, a bunch of Trump-supporting fucking jerk-offs. Fuck them," end quote.
And he said the words "end quote."
Yeah,
That's not
that
you.
wasn't me. Yeah, he
said that.
Quote. Yeah.
Yeah. Lauren Stussy, writer for SI Live, reached out for comment and got a series of middle finger emojis. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
So a lot of people on Staten Island were talking about this, obviously.
Yeah.
People were angry. I mean, I don't know. Do you want to... I mean, I have opinions
your
on it.
opinion. Honestly, I don't have an opinion on how he feels. I don't care.
Right.
I feel bad. Staten Island always takes a beating, and I just don't think that's the best move for a new up-and-coming comic. I mean, not up-and-coming comic. He's obviously been a comic, but what are you doing?
What just fell on me?
A little bear head.
A bear head fell on me. I think something else fell.
I think a pine cone.
And a pine cone.
All the fall decorations have fallen on.
You have dangerous arts and crafts on your walls. Okay.
It comes in threes, guys. Comes in threes. Gary Marinoff was last year. John Silver. Hot Time Harv. You're the one. You're the
John
third.
So there've been 3 guys on the podcast, in a way. John Silver wasn't really a guest, but he's on it.
Yeah. And that's not even the people we talk about. Ooh. Kevin Meaney just died.
Oh, when we bring people up, they die.
Yeah.
We bring up celebrities and go, whatever happened to that guy? And within
Super Live Poltergeist, thank you.
Within a week, they're dead. Yeah. Well, all right. So the Pete Davidson thing.
He might die now that we said, but yeah, I don't think it's a good move for a guy.
You didn't want to say idea?
No.
You stopped yourself.
I'm done with that.
As to whether or not it's a good move or a bad move, when he gave the middle, and look, I don't know Pete Davidson. I never really crossed paths with him. I might have done a show with him at some point, to be honest, and I really don't remember, because if we did, we didn't interact, and not for any particular reason. He's a lot younger than us.
Yeah.
And I think that if his experience was the South Shore of Staten Island, with his age group of teenagers, because he, you know what I mean, like he broke very young. And I get why he probably was not supported as an art. There were those people that were like, oh, way to thank the borough that gave you your start. And it's like, you know, like, oh, and somebody, a local Staten Island comic was kind of like, oh, nice way to treat, you know, the borough where, like, you know, the Looney Bin gave you your start. And I'm like, the Looney Bin is a Staten Island comedy club. It doesn't give anybody
Nobody was
anything.
Scouting at the Looney Bin for SNL.
This is a young kid who wanted to do comedy and perform there because it was the only game in town. It doesn't mean it's a great place. It doesn't mean that it helps you out. I mean, it's a shithole. I love going there. Because it's always I have a lot of funny stories about that place.
Well, how could you not? That place is crazy. It's
But then, I think that he probably got a lot of shit, and I know it. One of the things he said in the interview, he's talking about, like, you know, on Staten Island, you say, I'm a comedian, and the response is, oh yeah, tell me a joke. And then you tell a joke, and they go, that's not funny. I'm funnier than you.
Yeah. Go be funny to my mother's meatballs.
I've been through that shit. I was in this house in the 90s when you and I started doing sketch comedy, and you had a party here or something, and one of the guys who was here was one of those Staten Island bros.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you and Chris, what are you making, like, movies and shit? I was like, well, we do sketch comedy. He's like, well, what does that mean, sketch comedy? And I said, well, you know, like, Kids in the Hall? And he went, oh, that... Well, like that faggot shit?
Yeah, oh, that gay shit. Oh, you and Chris are blowing each other?
And I remember going like, the gay...
Yeah.
Like, I just met you, and you're calling me gay in like... Do you know what I mean? Like, that's Staten Island. So, you know what? If that was Pete's experience, I get it. The other thing is, I just got mad at SI Live recently. That's probably his. He's got a mother who lives on Staten Island, but he's in Manhattan on Saturday Night Live. He's out of this place now. SI Live writes about him all the time. Because they can't write it because Big Ange died, and something had to fill that
Buster
hole.
Poindexter David Johansen is no longer relevant.
But is that true? Lawrence Ducey writes about him all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And I think for him, do you remember a couple episodes I was talking about, like Miley Cyrus, how I felt like a lot of what she did was she had to, like, kill the Hannah Montana thing.
Yes.
I think maybe Pete is just sick of
he has to kill Staten Island
being the kid from Staten Island. And I think this is a bit of, like, cutting that, like, he doesn't want to represent us anymore, especially because his experience here was maybe being picked on and not being supported. And a lot of the people that are mad are in our circle, right? People that hang out on the North Shore and are involved in the artistic community. Yeah. We have to remember that we're the minority.
Yeah, we are.
Everything that he's mad about is a real thing.
In our scene.
Now, I don't
really leave our scene, but it's
it's the thing, and I don't love that he said fuck everybody, because that includes us right here.
It includes his mother that lives on Staten Island.
Who in the interview he also said was a fucking idiot that she was too stupid to leave.
What's kind of funny is the guy you interviewed, Vince Mancini, was like, so since you gained notoriety and you're on a show, have you bought a house or anything? He's like, yeah, I bought a house. Staten Island.
Yeah, for his mom.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? And
But he spends time. It's kind of like, oh,
he's a kid.
Oh, shit, what do you eat?
It sounds like a kid.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm worried about more or less, which is weird to say I'm worried about something I don't know. But I'm like it's kind of like he's saying dumb kid things, and I think 20 years down the line, if he continues to have a career, he's going to regret this interview. Sure. Big time.
I regret things I said months ago.
I regret what I said 20 minutes ago on this show.
I ultimately I cut him a lot of slack with it. I think it was like, I think he's a young kid. I think he insulted everybody. The choice of a tidal wave for taking out Staten Island wasn't great. One of the things.
What is this, Japan? Come on.
Stussy said, I didn't fact check this, but I think it was like on the anniversary of Hurricane Sandy that he said.
Oh yeah,
that the interview came out saying like.
Yes, the 26th or something. Yeah, whatever hell yeah.
Let a tidal wave take out the whole borough. People died because of that storm. It was insensitive and harsh. But I think he's a kid, and I know he's a kid, and I also know that the Staten Island that he hates is also the Staten Island that I hate. And it wasn't always Staten Island. I'm old school Staten Island. Like, my family goes, we're not the Staten Island that came out of Brooklyn. If your roots come through Brooklyn,
yeah, you're not.
Then you're part of this macho fucking problem that has become the borough. And we're also super isolated. If we all grew up with a subway that we could get on and we would be in Manhattan or Brooklyn within a few minutes...
Yeah, we wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be...
performing at the Looney Bin.
We would be performing at the Looney Bin. We'd probably be more open-minded. We'd probably interact with different types of people. We'd have different types of people living here. There would be Trump supporters here, but I think they'd be the minority and not the majority. Yeah. The biggest problem with Staten Island is isolation. And a lot of people came out of Brooklyn, and they left Brooklyn because they were mad at different groups of people coming in and taking their neighborhoods away. Mm-hmm. And they brought all that anger here. Yeah. Well, and I made a joke online where I was saying, like, he should have focused on the real problem, Italians. By the way, I sat on that joke for 2 days because I was like, this is one of those things where, like, either people are going to get angry or they're going to realize that I'm joking. And thankfully, one guy got mad.
I think it's, if you look up anything about John Zaluga, he does a weekly podcast with a guy named Chris Sorrentino.
I married somebody.
Italians.
Yeah, my sisters are Italian. I married an Italian. Yeah. But like it's and the reason is because I live on Staten Island and it's unavoidable. You got to learn how to deal with these fucking people.
No, I hear you.
What do you do? Look, I wish it was all Polish Catholic, but what am I gonna do?
Hey, I'm only half Italian. John only likes half of it.
Yeah, my wife's a quarter, my sisters are half. Yeah. The full Italians?
Oh, yeah, those guys are... No, but, all right, my problem is... and I'm going to state my problem, and then I'm going to grab another beer.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Not, like I said, not what Pete Davidson feels. I don't... Okay, say in high school... You got your group of friends, and you got some really good people, and some really good teachers. But then there's some shitbag jocks who own the school, and they pick on everybody. So you go and, like, how is this school? Oh, there's these guys that run around and pick on everybody, and they fucking, they're on the football team, and they rub their nuts on your face, or whatever. Like, whatever those asshole jock people do.
Yeah.
If you said that that's what your whole school was this group of 10 people on a football team, you really give your school a bad name, and people are like, oh man, I'll never go to that school, I won't support anything from that school. It's like, the whole island is these people, and it's not just what Pete Davidson said, it's stuff that's perpetuated through, like, the Jersey Shore, and my, Mob Wives of...
all that shit.
Of Eltingville, whatever that shit is. It's... Local reference, Eltingville! Ugh, I want to die. Anyway, it's just...
It perpetuates
the stereotype.
And there are people on Staten Island, a lot of people online were going, good, let him do this. Like, let's keep the negative image up because it keeps rent low.
Oh, God.
You and I are getting closer to 40. We're homeowners. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck your rent. Like,
yeah,
I want to sell my house one day.
Yeah.
I want to get the hell out. Like,
yeah, rent.
Yeah, rent low. Like, I want to sell my house.
Ugh.
But, and what you said about Jersey Shore and Big Ange and everything, and what I was saying about the Italians, which I know is going to piss people off, but I really do believe this. Italians should be incredibly proud of their culture. They do hang on to the food on Staten Island, but I'm talking about, like...
Oh, you should have that little horn hanging from your Your rearview mirror. That's a reference that anybody outside of New York listening probably doesn't realize. Or New Jersey or New York.
Or Italy, yeah, because
the Maloki, is that what that is? It's
whatever that.
It's a little horn.
I have one. My stepfather's cousin from Italy gave me one. Valeria gave me one.
So weird.
Yeah.
It always freaked me out. Is it a pepper? Is it a horn? I don't know what it was.
Think about, aside from food, the art and music and architecture and science and development. Like really, like Italians have a lot to be proud of.
Marconi, man.
But what happens on Staten Island when people, again, education in the country sucks. People on Staten Island are very isolated, so they stay in their neighborhood. Staten Island is where more than once I've had people go, "What do you mean you're not Italian?"
Yeah.
Which is like,
yeah.
Are you kidding me? This tiny boot on the planet is not where most of the people come from, you fucking idiot. But I've had so many people say that to me. And the culture has been replaced with pop culture. And it was a worshipping of The Godfather and Goodfellas and The Sopranos, which, by the way, every time somebody does like a mafia movie or something, it tends to be more inspired by the previous mob movies more than it is
the
actual mafia.
Yeah.
So it's like they're cartoons.
Yeah.
But people take it on as their culture, and here, those cartoons have become real
lifestyles. Yeah.
And I remember when The Sopranos was on, there were groups of Italian Americans protesting, saying they're portraying us negatively.
Mm-hmm.
This is before Jersey Shore and Mob Wives.
Yeah.
Where it's like, Sopranos, those are cartoonish characters. There are more cartoonish characters now in real life.
Yeah.
Because they've modeled themselves after this fucking crazy...
It kills me because it makes you not want to even support those movies and shows, but like, Sopranos was a great series. Goodfellas, one of my all-time favorite movies. Like, it's just a great movie.
Yeah.
Like, but you feel, as a Staten Islander and guys like us from Staten Island, you kind of don't even want to admit that you love that movie that much or that show because of the stereotype that we're surrounded by.
But none of those characters in any of those movies are people that you should model yourself after.
No, but not at all.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
Not at all.
But people do.
Yeah.
And a lot of non-Italians do. This is a very Staten Island thing for non-Italians to lie and say they are. I've encountered that a few times. Jersey Shore, there were people that did it. My brother's ex-girlfriend, her last name was Sovich, and she used to tell people she was Italian. Like, there's that thing where, like, and that's the thing, you end up on Staten Island, you'll get like Irish Guidos, like you get like weird.
Oh, those are the best, yeah.
Because it's like, well, that's the cool way to be and everything. Yeah. It's just like, it's so ridiculous. So I think that's who Pete Davidson hates.
Yeah. Well, Pete Davidson, that's who we all hate. I get it. But,
he's not wrong. It was just...
You can't condemn the whole island.
And that's exactly it. But I'll give him a pass. He's young. He's angry. I think SI Live pissed him off, which I completely relate with.
You? No.
Yeah, it's just stop trying to... It's, whatever.
Well, what else do they have? They're kind of... you know what I mean? And for the entertainment section... I mean,
they have the news.
Why cover events happening on Staten Island?
The election alone should give you enough coverage.
That's entertaining. No, but it's like we. Hey man, I like Lawrence Stussy. I like Rob Bailey. I like what they do.
They're doing what they have to do.
Yeah,
but if Pete Davidson's in the newspaper every single week.
Yeah.
And by the way, they're trying to make him out to be a bigger star than he is.
Yeah. Well, they were yeah.
SI Live's a big deal, but it's like, for the most part, they throw him in sketches and he's not an actor, and he'll admit that. Mm-hmm. And then he comes on Weekend Update and he's a young kid making jokes about getting stoned and his dick, and that appeals to his age group.
Yeah.
But he's not. It's not Adam Sandler on there. Like he's not.
Yeah,
unless I'm that out of touch. Maybe there is a whole generation that's obsessed with him, but I don't.
No, he's just really the first guy on there who's openly being like, I smoke weed, and it's like okay.
Which, by the way, he does primarily for Crohn's, which I fully support.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, I won't say his name, but God, Crohn's was such a battle for him, and all the medications and everything. Like, there were weeks and months at a time where this guy couldn't leave his house.
Yeah.
And when he finally started smoking weed,
you could actually eat and digest again. Yeah, that's
dude,
more power to you.
It helped him so much, and I'm glad that Pete Davidson's speaking out about that, because that needs to become legal nationwide for anybody with Crohn's. It's my friend cannot function without it, and Pete Davidson says the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's a bad. I really don't think he's a bad guy.
No, definitely.
I think he's just a young kid, and he has every reason to be angry at a group of people and a certain type of person that's here.
So you kind of need to watch what you say, buddy. All right, I'm gonna grab beers.
We might be done with the live stream.
I don't know.
We're over an hour.
Oh boy.
So I think we're done with the live stream. We'll geek out a little bit about Walking Dead.
This is the end.
And some other stuff.
My only friend.
The end. Thank you so much for watching the live stream. I'm going to pause the recording and we will be back in a second.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
We probably won't have a live stream next week, or will we? I don't know. We got to figure out next week because John's not going to be available the night we usually do it.
Oh, yeah. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah,
check us out.
Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, the Periscope people have a view of my asshole. What is that? What are you talking about, Alex? About Walking Dead? Dude, people...
Oh, don't spoil it.
You might have spoilers. Don't do that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't do that stuff. Hey, happy Halloween. We love you guys. Keep it real. Be safe out there. There's a lot of crazy people out there. People dressed like John Zaluga. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's weird. All right. Take care, guys. I love you. We love you.
31 live viewers.
Oh.
I had so many more last time.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
People don't like us anymore.
We might be competing with something. I don't know.
Steve Whalen's writing jokes tonight.